Queen Elizabeth II's heir, Charles III, is officially proclaimed King of the United Kingdom by the Garter of Arms at St James's Palace in London. Officials and members of the public around the world pay their respects to Queen Elizabeth II and reflect on her 70-year reign. Ukraine's foreign ministry says defending troops have regained key cities on the eastern front line, following more claims of advances south of Kharkiv.
Sweden gets ready to hold a general election on Sunday, but the latest polls put left and right blocs neck and neck with only a few seats between them.
That my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and to the service of our great imperial family.
God save the King!
Charles III has been proclaimed the new King of the United Kingdom and 14 other Commonwealth realms by the Garter of Arms at St James's Palace in London. State trumpeters played the national anthem after the principal proclamation was read from the balcony above the Friary Court. Some 4.5 kilometres east, 62 guns were fired by the King's troops at the Tower of London to mark the monarch's accession. This comes as the new King thanked his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, in a throne room address and emphasised his duty as sovereign.
I am deeply aware of this great inheritance and of the duties and heavy responsibilities of sovereignty, which have now passed to me. In taking up these responsibilities, I shall strive to follow the inspiring example I have been set in upholding constitutional government and to seek the peace, harmony and prosperity of the peoples of these islands and of the Commonwealth realms and territories throughout the world.
After paying tribute to his wife Camilla, he signed an oath in front of the Privy Council. His eldest son, Prince William, now first in line to the throne, also added his signature, before Scotland's Prime Minister Nicola Sturgeon and the newly appointed Liz Truss signed the declaration.
The crowds that gathered here near St James Palace were witnesses of yet another moment in history, a ceremony from the past that brought about the future. Archaic language was used to proclaim Charles III the new monarch of England in a ceremony that lasted about 10 minutes. 10 minutes that brought to an end 70 years of the former reign. And in his first words as King, Charles honoured the memory of his mother and praised the selfless service Queen Elizabeth II delivered to this country in those 7 decades, vowing to carry on her commitment to the job. A ceremony really extraordinary, the very first time this council meets since 1952, and the very first time ever such a ceremony is broadcast live on TV. Prince William, Queen Camilla, current members of the government and former prime ministers were all in attendance of this. That is the first proclamation in a wave of proclamations scheduled to take place across the country through Sunday. Annalise Borges in London for Euronews.
Tributes have been pouring in from around the world following the death of Britain's longest-serving monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. Italian President Sergio Mattarella has signed a book of condolences at the British ambassador's residence in Rome. The 81-year-old wrote she inspired by wisdom and example entire generations of world citizens. France's former president François Hollande and his wife, actress Julie Gaillet, also paid their respects to the late Queen at the British Embassy in Paris. Elizabeth died at the age of 96 on Thursday and visited France more than any other country during her reign. Meanwhile, in the Southern Hemisphere, Australia's Governor-General David Hurley and Prime Minister Anthony Albanese joined diplomats and other leaders for a ceremony at the Queen's Terrace in Canberra. Members of the public have left flowers at the gates of Sydney's Government House, while supporters of the monarchy in Brisbane have also been paying their respects.
She was a very hard-working, respectful woman. It's great to see a woman who's been so dedicated to her role, meant so much to so many people globally.
Moving west to India, students from Gurukul Art School were seen creating vibrant portraits of the Queen on Friday at the edge of a busy street of the financial capital, Mumbai. Elizabeth II's funeral will be held in London's Westminster Abbey in approximately 10 days' time before she is buried at Windsor Castle. Ukrainian soldiers in the northeast of the country claim they've made major gains as their counter-offensive against Russian troops continues. UK intelligence says defending forces have taken the Kremlin by surprise and have seized the key city of Kupiansk, cutting off Moscow's supply route to Izum. While Ukraine makes progress on the front line, Kharkiv is reeling after Russian missiles injured 14 people, including 3 children, on Friday. However, a spokesperson for the armed forces says that Zelensky's military has retaken 30 settlements in the region. Meanwhile, in the liberated territories, the deoccupied communities are coming back to life, he says. The demining of the area is underway. Units of the National Guard are conducting stabilisation measures. The work of the National Police has resumed. And the police are recording numerous crimes committed by the enemy on Ukrainian soil. This comes as the Deputy Minister of Information in Donetsk took to Telegram and wrote Russian troops have deserted Izum. However, the Russian Ministry of Defence has released footage of a crew allegedly using howitzers with a range of 30 kilometres to destroy Ukrainian armoured vehicles.
Sweden's political party leaders have now had their final debate ahead of Sunday's general election. And the main topics on the table important to voters were energy prices, climate, healthcare, education and crime. There are 2 major blocs vying for a majority, the left and right, with 4 parties on each side. According to recent opinion polls, there are only a few seats between them. For now, it could go either way. The current minority government is led by the left-wing Social Democrats. Magdalena Andersson is Prime Minister, Sweden's first female Prime Minister, and she's fighting to stay at the helm of this group. However, a right-wing coalition is possible and would include the Liberals, moderates, Christian Democrats and the far-right Sweden Democrats, who have gained some popularity bringing immigration into the political debate.
At least 3 people have died and another 11 are injured after a passenger train and freight train collided in Croatia. The collision, which the country's prime minister described as huge, took place near the town of Novska on Friday night. Authorities are still looking into the cause of the collision.
UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres arrived in Pakistan on Friday to see the damage caused by torrential monsoons since June. On his visit, he urged countries to turn to renewables as he blamed climate change for the country's deadly floods. Over 33 million have been affected. The first plane of US aid arrived on Friday and more is expected, but the UN is calling on the international community to do more.
Over 5,000 people have been evacuated in California after fire doubled in size on Friday. The blaze, dubbed Mosquito Fire, has grown to be at least 119 kilometers, endangering around 3,600 homes east of the state's capital, Sacramento. Authorities are investigating the cause of the fire.
Her name is Sally Gabori, and you've probably never heard of her. But the self-taught Aboriginal painter who died in 2015 is now considered one of Australia's great contemporary artists. Her paintings are on show in Paris at the Foundation Cartier, and they include several monumental works. It's her first solo exhibition in Europe. Sally Gabori only started painting at the age of 80, yet produced over 2,000 works by the time she died. The Albertina houses one of Europe's most important compilations of modernist art in the form of the Herbert Batliner collection. A lawyer from Liechtenstein who passed away in 2019 was one of the greatest art collectors and patrons of our time. The collection comprises more than 500 pieces covering virtually every aspect of modernist painting, including Russian avant-garde and surrealism, a must-see if you're in Vienna. Or, if you're in Barcelona this weekend, the Joan Miró Foundation is also a must-see. Bright interior and exterior spaces allow the visitor to walk through the building while discovering the multiple talents and aspects of the artist. The collection of paintings, drawings, sculptures and other works on display in the artist's hometown is the largest in the world.